Are you guys ready for George Martha? Give it up for George Martha!
Hello, good evening, everyone.
I'm Elizabeth T.
And I'm Richard Burton. Two figures of popular culture.
You don't know who we are?
Yes, of course. Truly famous in 1961, yes.
You might remember me. You youngsters might know me better as Carrie Fisher's stepmother for a few years. Do you know that? She's dead now.
We're all dead now.
That's right, we're all dead now. And so will you. Anyway, so tonight, we're going to do something that we've never done before.
Yes, you see, well, we're about to film a film version of the hit Broadway play, Who's Afraid
of Virginia Woolf?
Yes, by Mr. Edward Albee. You, of course, all know him.
Oh, seen it on Broadway, and I'm all just waiting for the minute. Well, yes, of course.
Yes, well, so you see, they're going to make a picture about it. It's going to Universal Pictures. It's going to be directed by Mr. Mike Nichols, with our co-stars
George Siegel
and Sammy Dennis.
Yes. But they did not want to be here.
No, you see, I thought Liz thought it would be delightful. Delightful idea. If you would improvise based upon these characters.
A little bit like that.
Yes. So to prove that we are improvising, we're going to need a suggestion. No, speak first. I need to ask a very specific suggestion. Now, the very specific suggestion I would like to ask you is, first, we need a line from a film, your very favorite line.
Favorite picture. It doesn't have to be. Honey, why do you need to know?
Unfortunately, I have this one first, although not quite as good as this.
Say hello to my little friend.
Say hello to my little friend. Now,
more time, too.
we need a second suggestion.
Yes.
And that second suggestion is a suggestion of something that a husband and wife, an ordinary couple, might have, but this particular couple does not.
You know, like an inanimate object, like an egg beater or a stapler.
Or a son.
Yes.
A car.
A what?
A car.
A car. What sort of car?
A Corvette.
A Corvette.
Corvette. Let's set up the house.
Oh, yeah.
And they will say it's elementary. Try to separate them. It's an illusion. Try, and you will only come to this conclusion. Love and marriage, love and marriage.
We have guests, George.
Yes?
Guests. People.
Martha, darling, I don't want guests.
Well, they're already here.
Oh, my goodness, they're out.
I'll fix them a drink, George.
Yes, please do now. Please do, yes. Oh, so, welcome, guests. Of course, you met us at the party we were just at previously.
Oh, remember.
Yes, you know Martha.
Hi.
You see, no one can ever get away from Martha, you see. Everyone tries to get away from Martha, but Martha's way of insinuating herself into any kind of conversation or relationship that one may have.
Because nevertheless, she persisted.
What's that, darling?
So nevertheless, she persisted.
Is that from something now?
Someone will say that sometime.
No.
It's so nice that you could come to this little college and check it out. You know what, NYU? City folk? It's really nice in a big city. We went to New York City once. Yes, we got off the bus. George had never been before. I had been with my dad, and he brought me once when I was a little girl. We went to Radio City, and I saw the Rockettes. But this time we went, and as soon as we got off the bus, a homeless man, he was covered in fecal matter, and he walked up to George and he said, "Say hello to my little friend." He did.
Yes. But you see, Martha insisted on making me do that. It was thoroughly humiliating to me. However, Martha, as a want, insisted on continually making a joke. Say hello to my little friend, my little friend, if you know what I mean. She even went to the homeless person, pulled down his pants, because his pants were already down. Pulled down his pants, and said, look, his member is longer than yours. Everyone was already busted, and it was laughing.
This is what happens when we're not uncircumcised. I didn't say that. enough. But we had a good time, of course.
Yes.
We went ice skating. George had to be on little training wheels. I'd never seen that before on ice skates. And then we went up to the Empire State Building.
Yes, you know, there's a very famous photograph in the Empire State Building of a car below it, in which a lovely lady had leapt off the Empire State Building and landed with a thud to her death. But still, she looked so serene and peaceful. And while I was on the Empire State Building, I couldn't help but think, oh, wouldn't that be lovely to finally escape Martha? Then I realized there is no escaping Martha, is there?
Nevertheless, she persisted.
Yes, nevertheless, she persisted. So have you been at the university long?
3 semesters.
3 semesters?
Well, they're in the math
The
department.
math department.
Yes.
Martha says you're in the math department. Is this true? Definitely, you're definitely in the math department.
The math department numbers, 1 + 1 = 2.
Yes, that's exactly what they study in the math department at university.
They study that. 1 - 1 = 0. If I know 0, by that I meant 1. You see, George here is in the history department. When I say in the history department, I mean he should be running the history department, but instead he's an associate professor of the history department.
Yes, you see, I am but the history, piece of the history department. I am not the history department.
No, I always thought when we got married that you would become the history department. That's what I wanted. That's what Daddy wanted.
Daddy, oh, of course. We have to talk about Daddy.
Daddy runs the college here in New Carthage.
Yes, there are consequences to being married to the daughter of the president of the university. There are consequences. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
And you accepted those terms gladly, George. If I recall correctly.
That's the thing about the deal with the devil. They're never fair, are they? That's a father. Father is actually the devil. He has the beady little red eyes.
He does not have red eyes, he has blue eyes.
The red eyes.
They're blue, George.
The red eyes, the red eyes that shoot beams out of them when they shoot. Yet your aspirations melt into nothingness. Have you ever had an aspiration melt into nothingness? There was something that you wanted to do but you couldn't do.
So I guess so, yeah.
What's that?
Well, I wanted to shove my ex-boyfriend's head in the toilet.
Oh, yes!
You should chat with Martha. Martha has that fantasy on a daily basis.
Before we left the house, George never wants to take a shower. He's like a petulant little child. And so the only time I can catch him is when he's on the hopper, and then I just have to push his head down and flush it. Like a goldfish. Flush! All your little dreams. Your little tiny dreams. You couldn't even jump off the Empire State Building correctly. Being at NYU, I'm sure like it's you've got very cool cafes. Do you work out a lot? Just naturally. All of you, all the buddies, and all hang out. Having I remember in my college days, we used to have little parties where we would just drink a little bit too much brandy, and then things would go wild. We'd put on a record and take our tops off.
Yes, there was that time on the Grecian island, the Corsican island.
It was Minopos.
Minopo. But whichever one it was, we were on the beach. There were many lovely Greek men, very muscular, such as yourself.
It was a gigantic building.
You box
He was like Zeus himself, come down from Mount Olympus.
Yes. Looked like Zeus itself came down from Mount Olympus. And of course, we all know what Zeus does, doesn't he? Yes, well, he didn't turn himself into a stag. That would have been quite impressive. But what he did was, within about 5 minutes, him and Martha were talking.
I certainly popped out of his head like Athena.
Yeah. Well, something involving heads and popping happened. But in any case, they were gone for 4 hours. For 4 hours, they were gone.
That's 4 hours in my life. You only live once.
No, that's 4 hours of my life. I was devoid of Martha. But you see, Martha doesn't know when to stop, does she?
No, I don't. I just keep going like in a car or something like that. Nice big red red Corvette.
Don't talk about the car, Martha. You stand warm, Martha. Don't talk about the car.
You know who I love is that Prince fellow. With that little song, that little red Corvette. It's all an allegory about sex, isn't it?
Martha, you've been warned. Don't talk about the car.
I will talk about the car as much as I want to. It's my car, isn't it? Put on the song. Put on the song. You know the one little red Corvette. It may be a bunch too, but you know the song. Song. The man. Come on.
If he's looking on Spotify, he's not going to find it, because famously he didn't put the music on Spotify.
The artist, always the artist.
Always the artist, yes. Yes, that was it. Prince's famous Love and Marriage. The Bard of Minneapolis played Love and Marriage.
It was a good song.
Yes, it was a good song. Unlike the song of our marriage, which has always been discord. Wait, I'm sorry, did somebody start a 1980s murder mystery or something? Alright, stop fooling with the music. You've got enough damage as it is.
Maybe if we had some more liquor, then we could just get a little fun and frisky and make our own goddamn music.
Well, I'm terribly sorry you drank this entire bottle.
I did not drink that entire bottle. That bottle was half empty when we came in here.
Yes, it was half empty because you drank the first half before we left for the party. Well, as they were saying, pre-gaming.
Not as much as all of you.
Yes, you see, that's the way Martha drinks. Sort of like yourself, is it? First you pre-game, then you game extensively. Then you pick someone at the party, have dirty love with them. And then post-game, and then post-game.
Someone who's never played a sport, you sure do talk a lot about games, don't you?
Well, you see, I injured my knee. I was a boxer, sort of like you. I did some boxing at university. Yes. I injured my knee.
What are you challenging him to a fight right now? You're challenging your masculinity, saying he was a boxer like you.
He's younger than that alcohol. I'm not going to challenge him to a fight.
I think you could take him. Just one punch. Back when we were first engaged and Daddy came over to see the new house. And then George over here talked about his boxing days, and so Daddy starts to say, "Oh, why don't you stand up and fight me like a man then?" And George over here, he started crying because he just couldn't handle it. And then all of a sudden, this was the funniest part. There was a picture on the wall, and Daddy had screamed so loud it fell over. I mean, it was really funny. It was a scream. It had to be there. I hope that it was an empty bottle, George. You can't afford to waste good liquor. Not on your salary, not on an associate professor's salary.
Yes, you see, we used to have a lovely car, didn't we? Until Martha here messed it up.
What are you talking about?
Constantly tinkering with the timing of the spark plugs. Constantly looking at the different little parts and bits that replacing the oil,
It's a
replacing the
vintage
windshield
car,
light.
George. Of course, you have to spend enough time with a vintage car. You know, you can't just drive it around like a Volkswagen or something like that to the grocery store. This is art. This is church. This is machinery.
No, but you like to tinker so much the car couldn't be anything, couldn't ever go anywhere without you tinkering.
You have to buy the special tires, of course, because you can't just find any kind
You
of tire.
ruined that car. Ruined that car. I'm afraid I have some bad news, Martha. The car is dead. Yes.
No, you can't do that.
Yes. No, I'm afraid it's been in a terrible car accident with itself.
No.
Yes, we put it on one of those auto-driving, self-driving things that Google's working.
No. We drove the car down to, it was a county fair. And there was a homeless man, sitting homeless man was there. They all over my little friend.
I got this letter today from Google. It
No.
says, I regret to inform you that our self-driving car's been in a terrible accident.
No.
Yeah.
What about Carfax?
No, I'm sorry. Carfax is going to know that it's been in an accident. It's never going to sell again. It's been totaled.
No! No, it's not fair!
car's been in a terrible, terrible accident. There's more, I talked to the mechanic, he said there's nothing that he can possibly do. The body work alone would be tens of thousands of dollars.
Can I say hello to you, Miss Randy?
Of course you can, darling. Who's afraid of driving the car?
I am George. I am.